Hello. Welcome to Toronto.
Angelina, to the left. Let's see the shoes.
In front of you, right here, please. Beautiful.
All the way back to your right.
Thank you for making honor to French culture. Appreciate it.
Angelina. Angie, please, can you...
Every single one of us has times in our lives where we have to deal with, whether it's us or someone we love, dealing with health issues. And I think we too often see it as the end. And we stop living and we forget who we are. And I loved that when she discovered she had cancer, she is trying to figure out how to still live. And she pushes herself through that, and I think that's what everyone needs to do. What we need to do for each other. So, yeah.
Saw you last year for the director on Without Blood. You're back this year playing a director in Couture. How personal was this movie for you, especially with the personal connections to this role?
Oh, it's very, very personal, and yet I also. It also felt unfamiliar. I was, it's my first time doing a film in French. I think it's also a very universal film. I think hopefully you watch it, you don't think that way. You just think this is the way the world is. But when you're watching it, there's the character from France, from America, from Sudan. We're tied together, and you may see our different stories and our different ways we are within the same situation. But I think you also walk away seeing us in a sisterhood, and that we have more in common than not in many ways. And I think that's really beautiful. So that was new and that was surprising. You have these moments where you're suddenly sitting in the chair that your grandmother was in, your mother was in. Millions of people around the world, thousands of people today sit in where they hear you have cancer. And I think to sit with that and feel that, and do a film that responds to that with, and we live on, and we don't forget to also be full people, and demand that we're still seen as full people and not patients. This is very important.
Movies about fashion, what do you feel like this one would be unique for?
Well, because I think it's not really about fashion, and where it touches on fashion, I think it's not superficial and judgmental on fashion. I think it's really, as I was saying, that couture is stitches. So when you think of stitches and stitching lives, stitching clothing, stitching surgery, we understand that it's more about, there are many ways of thinking of the fabric, the stitches. So I think Alice was very smart to take a world that was actually unfamiliar to her, and then put within it these characters trying to find their way. So I think it's interesting when you have life and death, when you have beauty and pain, when you have these contrasts. You can put forward even more when she's on the phone with her mother in Sudan, and she's walking on a thing and trying to figure. You're really, without there being this kind of, it's not pretentious and it's not judgmental. It's just laying out some of these aspects of life that hopefully are interesting to people.
Learn from the women in this film.
Well, I made some beautiful friendships that I'll have for the rest of my life. One of the greatest things about doing this film was walking away and finding that real connection to other women, and that we are from different parts of the world. And this is, I think, what we don't realize is it's one of the best things about today. So many people are so focused on how, keeping us apart or making us see each other as other. but that we are together and we can learn from each other and be speaking French or learning about Sudan or learning about this is the most wonderful thing about being able to be international. I'm 50 now, and my mother and my grandmother were in chemo by this time. I think having scenes where you're sitting in the hospital and you know that it's not just your family, it's so many other men and women around the world that have this moment, and we're having that moment every day right now. Someone's having that moment. I was very moved by it. It wasn't easy, but it was cathartic.
I just finished my cancer journey. And you spoke about your experience of your double mastectomies. What has it meant for you to be able to use your voice to help others?
I feel very fortunate to be able to connect to other women like yourself. We are here to connect to each other. That really must be the only reason we're here, to understand ourselves and each other better and connect. I felt less alone myself in connecting to others on these issues.
I think no matter who we are, no matter what age we're at, we're unfortunately all touched by grief or cancer. And I know you chose to wear your mother's necklace in the film. What did it mean to you to have her with you in those scenes? I lost my father to cancer, and it never gets easier. We're all there.
I think it was hard, but it was also a way of communicating with her, and feeling very connected to all, so many people around the world. It is what unites us. We are in many ways, we're not alone in grief, and people should remember that. We isolate ourselves at times. When we're grieving, we don't ask for help, we don't communicate. When we're losing someone, we don't know how as much to connect to each other, and yet it's the one thing we all are very, very united in loss and grief. And so I felt very fortunate to be able to share it with this crew, and now with audiences, which I hope, for me, it's probably one of the more intimate films I've ever done, is speaking to the audience and connecting to the audience. It was impossible for me not to think of when you recreate moments that you share with women it's very generational to you. I'm 50 now, and my mother and grandmother by this age were in chemo. And so, so it's either a choice for all of us. We all have these things we worry about or people we love, and it's either going to make us slow down and kind of almost feel we can't move, take a step, or we're going to make the most of this life before it's over.
I love what you just were saying about the importance of, or how clothes and sort of beauty affect our bodies. My mother has cancer, and when she lost her hair, she really wanted to know about turbans, and she wore a turban of every color.
I love that. See? So love to your mom.
So when you were talking about health in our bodies, can you talk about what that message in this film is?
Well, I think it's right to say, we too often we see certain things depicted, and when there's a film that deals with cancer, it's often a very heavy film that is kind of a closure of certain aspects of your life and an acceptance of it's just a certain feeling usually in these films, and it's not also sexy. It's not also full of work and life and motherhood and in the ways that I think real life is and should be, and we have to somehow find a way to become more alive. We're all gonna face the end one day, and so however long we have to remember to, like your mother, really live as fully as we can, and take this as a reminder to live more fully.
Angelina Jolie, you look like a fashion goddess.
Do I? I'm just comfortable. I didn't have a dress at the last minute. My lovely friend Gabrielle had a jacket.
So we don't know what she's wearing under there, but she looks good, guys.
Shorts.
They giving you any fashion advice recently?
No, my house is very, everybody to each their own. We're very democratic. Everybody does their own thing, and as long as you're being you, we're good. If you're dressing up to try to impress somebody else or be like somebody else, we'd probably call you out. But if you're you,
be you.
You be you, yeah.
Considering what your character experiences with a breast cancer diagnosis, and how that there are so many people who have had that experience, and yourself viscerally as well, did that make this role maybe emotionally hard to take on, or healing in a way?
Both. Yes, of course. I think all art or all things we do as all people, whether you're journaling or whatever it is, you're trying to understand yourself. And this, of course, I it's very close to me, and it's a subject I hadn't really discussed or shared for a long time, but I have. I think I was a little nervous to do it, also in French, but I trusted Alice, and I liked at the end that the film was about life and connection and all of us going through different things. People often don't associate cancer with, there isn't also sexuality when you're dealing with cancer. Sometimes, and far too often, especially with women's cancers, there's a division, and a lot of women dealing with women's cancers no longer feel sexual. And so I wanted to kind of rip that open again, because I think it's unfair, and I want to help women to hold on to that as well.
Hi, I'm Liam. When you all dressed up for premieres, what snacks do you wish you could hide in your outfits?
Want one?
No. Can I give you one of my favorite snacks?
Yes.
Okay.
Fine. All right. Oh, I love these. I'll be eating these during the screening.
Will you adopt me?
I'm sure you have a great mommy and daddy, do you? Yeah, but they're awesome.
Thank you.
But you do remind me of my boys. I have two boys from Southeast Asia. Where are you from? What's your family?
Toronto.
And do you know where your great grandparents were from?
China.
China? Very cool.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
You're
too.
very good at this. You should keep doing it.
Bye.
Okay.
Angelina. One question. What attracted you to this role?
The movie's about to start. I'm sorry, guys.
Working with these wonderful women. Thank you.
Angelina Jolie, nnennaasidianya, Ella
There she is.
Hello.
Hello.
So, yeah, she's here. So I'm so happy to present the film. I have to present the film here together with these actresses that are like a family to me. Angelina, thank you for your rebel hearts, for your commitment, and for being so close to me. Thank you. Thank you, Anya, for being, for your sparkling spirit, for telling me your story, and for your strength. And Ella, thank you for being the angel of the movie. Thank you for the festival for this invitation. Toronto holds a special place in my heart. Not only because it's the city of a filmmaker who meant a great deal to me in my teenage years, David Cronenberg. But also because I've had the privilege of presenting all of my films here. And I'm also thinking of someone very dear to me who is no longer with us. Emily Dequesne, the unforgettable actress from Rosetta, of the Dardenne Brothers, and so many other films taken by cancer last year. I had told her about the film. She was excited to see it. She was my friend. We encouraged each other. So I would like to dedicate her the screening.
After the film, the director and the cast will be available for a Q&A with the audience. Please enjoy.
Angelina Jolie, nnennaasidianya, and Ella.
I felt very fortunate to, the film is very thoughtful, and I think we've all just, you just sit through something and you get to spend time and think about life, and sometimes it's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be, so to sit with and inside these moments where you, and for all of us, and what I think is lovely about it is you really contemplate how we are all going to get through this. Every single person here has been touched by grief. Every single person here has lost someone. Many of you have had that moment in the hospital, and you all just wonder, does that define you, or how you live through it, how we connect to each other. So I think in a strange way, some films have this complete center and this answer.
I'm very sorry. And I think I will say that one thing I remember my mother saying when she had cancer. She said to me once, we had a dinner and people were asking her how she was feeling, how she was doing. And she said, all anybody ever asks me about is cancer. So I would say, if you know someone who's going through something, ask them about everything else in their life as well. They're a whole person, and they're still living.
A role so close and your collaboration with Alice. Yes, I felt very, I felt very fortunate to, the film is very thoughtful, and I think we've all just, you just sit through something and you get to spend time and think about life, and sometimes it's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be, so to sit with and inside these moments where you, and for all of us, and what I think is lovely about it is you really contemplate how we are all going to get through this. Every single person here has been touched by grief. Every single person here has lost someone. Many of you have had that moment in the hospital. And you all just wonder, does that define you, or how you live through it?
Yeah, and of course there's the story about cancer, and I knew Angelina would bring a lot of truth to it also because of your personal story as well. Her mother and her grandmother also died from the disease, and I can say you also lived the story in your flesh, as she has a double mastectomy, very strange to say. And for sure, it's something very personal and intimate. We really wanted to show the reality behind perfect images.
And say this is how we're all trying to be and live together and understand things and connect. And what I really loved is that there's often films that deal with cancer that become about the cancer, and that the life becomes defined by the illness.
And they have to repair something. They have to repair in each of their lives something in order to move on. And I think, yes, maybe we all have to repair ourselves today. But I think the film shows also solidarity between women. And I think, yes, we need this solidarity.
Thank you. All those beautiful words of wisdom, we do have to... It's very subtle and it's very thoughtful, and so there'll be moments that resonate, and if that resonated with you, or that became maybe because of faith or because of for different reasons, then that's really beautiful. So I think that's what's nice about this kind of story, is that
it's true, and it's because it's...
Yes. Yes. In Hebrew? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it was on the...
Well, one selfie.
Thank you so much. Angie, good night. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.